I'm Zac Oneil. I'm an ultra runner from the south coast of New South Wales, and I've been wanting to do Coast to Kosci for since I started running practically. Me and my mates would always go down to the snow, and then I heard about this race that went from Eden to top of Mount Kosciuszko, and I was just whenever we go down to the snow, I just always tell the boys about it, how there's idiots that run from Eden to the top of Australia, and it was just the most insane thing I'd ever heard. And ever since I heard about the race, I've been I have to do that one day. And then this year I got to give it a crack. So with this race, you need to have done a 100-kilometre race and a 100-mile race within a year of the sign-up period. So originally I'd planned for UTA 100 to be my 100-kilometre race, and then the weather changed the plans for that, so I had to pivot. There was another good race that was really hard, that was in the Northern Territory the weekend after that when UTA was meant to be on. So I went out and done that. It was the West Max Monster 128k on the Larapinta Trail, which is so insane. That place is amazing. And so that was my 100k. It was 128k. So they usually, I got the vibe that the race organisers want you to do hard races as your application races just to get in, so they know you can actually finish something like that. So I try to prioritise making my qualification races as hard as I could possibly get in Australia. And then my 100 mile I done at the end of last year, in the end of November. That's the along the Great North Walk Ultra, which is the course has changed a bit now, but they used to be a lot different, and the course is pretty much just bush bashing now, and it was just such an effort. That race was so tough, and it was pissing down rain for the whole night, and doing all right in that race. I come first in the race, but it was just a really, I don't know, didn't go in having any expectations of placing or anything like that. I just wanted to have a good day, and I somewhat did, but towards the end of that race, I was just it was really tough, and it's 100 miles, so it's pretty far. But so yeah, they were my two qualification races. So I think they were really hard races. So I think the organisers probably would have seen those races and be alright, they're good ones to have on the resume.
And what was the preparation period in the weeks, months leading into Coast to Kosci?
I think it would have been about 12 weeks, and I probably at the start it was maybe 80 k's a week, and then slowly build up to my peak week being probably 120 k's a week, which is not super high mileage for most people that be doing this race, or most ultra runners, but I don't think I could really handle much more than that at the moment. I've only been running for 3-4 years now, and I'm a bit bigger than most people, so I don't know if I'd be able to handle any much more than that. So I don't think I come in to the race under prepared. I prepared as much as I could. I literally ate, slept, and breathed this race the past year practically. So I try to recreate the race conditions as much as possible around here. So I just go out and do most of my runs over hilly road, up Saddleback Mountain, places like that, just to get my body prepared for hitting that pavement. It's just such a constant, it's a lot different to trails, because on the road, I don't know, it's just the exact same, you're doing the exact same thing for 30 plus hours, so it's it's pretty impossible to get your body prepared for something like that.
How are you feeling in the moments before the race?
Yeah, I was very relaxed. I knew I'd done everything I could to train for the race, so I just had to go and just do it on that day. And it was good, because having you there and Art and Blake and all my family there, it was just I don't know, I just felt I was very relaxed. Like I knew everything was going to go fine, and like it's obviously going to hurt, but like I knew that I could get it done, and I was gonna finish no matter what. So yeah, I was really relaxed, and the weather was like perfect, and we were so relaxed up to the like we were actually late at the start, and we missed the like smoke ceremony and everything, which was a bit annoying, and I was a little bit frazzled from that, but yeah, I was pretty relaxed on the start line.
What's that one? Nick, we'll just
Yeah, good.
oh, that's good. Get it, Zaggy.
He's going to go well. Good support group. Good photography.
How you feeling, Mum?
Bit nervous for him.
You've been a bit quiet this morning.
Yeah, I get stressed. It's a long way.
Get through the first checkpoint.
All right, let's go.
Do it.
Go.
In the first few hours of the race, getting through Toowoomba and towards Rocky Hall, what was that like?
Yeah, I started out I thought I started out cruisy, but looking back at the splits, I probably went out a touch too hard. Because it's hard, like, I want to try and be as competitive as I can in races, and when people just shoot off the front, like, it's so hard not to go with them, and I held myself back, and I was probably let like 25 people go in front of me, because I knew I probably would see him again. And then got to Toowoomba, felt great. It was good to see like all the crews and cars there just like clapping you on. It was just like probably the only time in the race where you'd get that many people there and stuff like that. So yeah, I felt really good in the first 25Ks was sweet, and then after Toowoomba it was just like trying to take in all the scenery and stuff like that, because it's really nice down in the valley there, and you're seeing a lot more runners because it's early in the race, so it's just like constantly cars and chatting, and it's like hard to get into the groove of it because it's just like, I don't know, it's just like a lot going on. But yeah, the further like you get up towards like Rocky Hall and stuff like that, it starts to spread out a little bit, and then yeah, needed to go to the toilet, so it was good to sit down at like, I think Rocky Hall's like 56 Ks. So yeah, went to the toilet there, had a little 5-minute break, and then up the road a bit more. That's when it turned to Cowboys Trail instead of going up Big Jack. I've ran up Big Jack before in training, and it's so much better than what Cowboys Trail was like. Cowboys sucks so much. It was like steep as fire trail, and yeah, I didn't expect. I knew it was going to be bad, but I didn't expect it to be that bad. I definitely should have checked that out during the training for the race, because that kind of took me by surprise a little bit. And you have to pick up your pacer there. So me and Blake we probably went a bit too hard. Like when you pick up the pacer the first time, like the energy's high and everyone's dropping, and it's like you just like get wrapped up. And like we were like, I overtook like 3 or 4 people in that section, and like I felt sweet because you're only 50k or something, 56 kilometers in, so it's not like that, not really that bad. But yeah, I've definitely done that section too quickly.
At 70k mark now, just run the last 14k's up Cowboys Trail with Zac, 14 and a half, about 770 metres of vertical gain. Looking strong. He looks real composed, strong as ever, made me feel weak as this. So I look forward to the next 100 and whatever it is left. Get behind him.
After that section you come into like Cykarl, I think it is, and that's when it started to get really hot. It was like nowhere near as hot as it like has been in the past couple of years, but it was just like the sun just like zapped you. I don't even know why. I knew the sun was going to be bad, but yeah, the heat was. I was quite hot out there. After Cykarl, it was just a lot of monotonous, just like dirt trail, which was good to just get in the in the rhythm of it and just like plod away. I was trying not to go too quick, but I was finding myself I find it hard to run anything slower than like 6-minute Ks. It's just like feels unnatural. So I was trying not to go too much faster than that, but I was trying to hover around that time. All that section was just like a really blur. I must have just been like really focused on in the zone, just like clocking, like ticking the K's over. So I don't really remember much of that section until we get to the Bib and Loop crossing, which would have been just before sunset. Yeah, so that's probably like 10 or so hours in. And then yeah, I had a good sit down there. It was like my legs were hurting a little bit, but I was just getting the Theragun, getting used to do the Theragun on my legs, and that seemed to be working really well. And I had it in my mind, like my coach Tim had said, if you get to the wind turbines and you cook, it's going to be a long day. And I remember running down the hill and then coming up to the wind turbines around sunset, and like I felt a bit shit, like I felt a bit cooked. So I was a bit stressed about that, but I think it was just the heat and the sun that was just draining me a little bit. So but as soon as I picked up the pacer at sunset, when I picked up Arden, we just like, I don't even know, we got like the speaker out and Arden was just playing music and we were just like clicking the K's over.
What was your sort of nutrition plan throughout the race?
In the lead up in training, I put a big emphasis on my nutrition. Like I was trying to experiment with how much calories I could get in per hour and how many grams of carbohydrates I could get in per hour. And some days I could get in like 100 grams per hour, which is a fair bit. And I knew I probably wouldn't be doing that in the race, but I just wanted to see how much I could get in per hour, and just to train my gut to be used to taking on that much. And during the race, I don't know, it must have been the heat as well. Like I was probably having more gels and more tailwind than I had expected. So I had a plan going in to try and eat as much solid foods as possible, but towards the end of the first day, I just couldn't stomach. Well, I could stomach it, but I just had no appetite whatsoever. Like the thought of solid food just made me like feel really nauseous. So yeah, I was probably sitting around 60-70 grams per hour for most of the first day and night. And then the next day after that, I probably didn't have as much as I should have, but I wasn't going as fast as I was the day and night, so I didn't really need to have that much. But yeah, towards the end of the race, I was just pretty much just having gels and like lollies and tailwind. That's all I could stomach. I couldn't chew. It made me feel so sick.
What was it like running through the night? So it was essentially, I don't know, 20-30 k's before Dalgety, all the way through to Jindabyne. What's it like running at night?
It's good at night because you just got your headlamp, and that's what you're focusing on, is just one foot in front of the other. And yeah, I don't know, I just like having Arden there, we were just moving so well, and like I couldn't even, like my legs were sore, but you could just like get into a rhythm and you could just run and just keep running like without much pain really. It was still only early in the race, so.
And then the bit after Dalgety for Jindabyne?
Yeah, that was, I don't know, I was in a bit of a weird like space then, because like I'd just been thinking about getting to Dalgety all day, because that's like a milestone of the race. And then yeah, just to like, now you've got to Dalgety, like alright, fuck, I've still got to go 98 kilometers. Like it was just a trippy thing.
Man, Bella. Up to 3 Ks, yeah? Yeah, Bella.
That's when Arden swapped out, Blake jumped in, which was good, because Blake's been my pacer for every race I've ever needed a pacer in, so it just felt like the good old times in that section. Yeah, I was my legs were starting to lock up a fair bit at that point, because I had those knee braces on, and I've had a knee injury leading into the race. I don't know if it's from running, or running definitely doesn't help it, but it's from bending over at work all the time. So that was on the back of my mind, and it had been hurting from like the 80k point. So I just chucked a knee sleeve on but I think the knee sleeve was like putting too much pressure on my hamstrings and like my knee and stuff like that. So it was helping the injury, but it was also like making everything else worse, and like the top of my calf like really bad. And then I ended up feeling my meniscus in my other knee, so I put sleeve on the other knee as well. So I had 2 sleeves on. I just feel like I'd never even trained in those knee sleeves before, so it was such a rookie move to do that in a race. Like, it's such a stupid thing to do. And then yeah, I got to Balocka and I just like sent me for 10. Like I ran that hill before in training, and obviously you're only doing like 30, 40, 50k training runs, so it's not as bad. Yeah, it was just good to have Blake there to just push me up that hill. After Balocka, I had a sit down, got the Theragun out, loosened my legs up a bit, and started moving alright for the next like 20 k's into Jindy. And then probably about 2 k's out from Jindy, my knees just like, I don't know if it was from going up Balocka or something, but they just like locked up, and like I just couldn't run. Like walking down into Jindabyne was like so like the most painful experience I've ever had in running. Like to not be able to run that section, like I just envisioned in my mind me getting to Jindy feeling good, feeling strong, and then like running the rest of the race and just like feeling good. But yeah, that's not what happened. Like, and like I could see looks on mom and dad's face, like they were just like so stressed out, and they just, yeah, I don't know, they said that they thought I was going to drop out, but they were thinking maybe pulling me out at that point, and I was just, yeah, I was not in a good way at all. Like I knew I was 100% going to finish, but yeah, I had to make, it was either I pulled out there and thought about it for like the rest of my life, like that'll be my first DNF, or I just walk the rest of the race, the last 60k, 65k in. So yeah, I just had to walk.
Zac's had a big night. He's gone through Dalgety and then he's gone through Jindabyne this morning. He's run really well throughout the night. I ran 40 with him. He's now back with Blake running through Kosci National Park. Heading his way to the summit now. He's probably about 50 or so k's off from the summit. So we'll see how it goes. He's still moving, not in the best spirits, but you know he's going to keep going. So send through your messages so we can keep reading them out.
Like I ran a little bit of the downhill coming into the national park, but then after that, like it's just all uphill. So yeah, I wasn't in the best headspace because I wanted to run that section so badly, but I just couldn't fucking run. So I probably wasn't even like taking the scenery in that much, but that was pretty much 26, 27 hours in at that point, so, or even longer, 30 hours in at that point, 32 hours in, so I was like really sleep deprived, and it's just like the weirdest thing, like, because it's a Saturday in summer, and there's so many blacks, and so many like tourists and stuff driving past, and like bipping, and like so many like blacks just like just zooming past you, so it's just like a heap surreal experience. And it was just so weird. I was in like the weirdest headspace. It's so deceiving, like trying to get to Perisher, like coming up through there, I thought Perisher was like the next headland around, then I get to the top and then it'd beat the next one, then the next one, and then the next one. It was just like a constant, like forever, like I could never get to Perisher. But yeah, I finally got to Perisher, and then there's people like, I'm starting to get passed by runners and stuff that I had passed during the night and stuff. It was just pissing me off so much, but I literally couldn't do anything about it. It was the most frustrating thing.
What was it like getting to the summit with Blake, and what was that period like?
Yeah, that was tough because it's like being on road and fire trail for that long. Like you just get so used to it, and then when you have to change it up and go like on like a little bit of a trail, and it's by no means like technical trail or whatsoever, but 220 k's in, it feels like it's pretty technical trail. So yeah, that was really slow going. And coming up to the summit, there's just like all tourists and stuff like that, and they're just like, we literally would have looked like zombies because Blake had ran 60 k's at that point with me. Like he was sleep deprived as well, and we were just both like, would have just looked like the zombies coming up to that. But yeah, the snow was actually kind of annoying. Going up it was alright, but like, yeah, going up was fine, but coming back down is like shit, because you were like, if I didn't have poles I would have like been struggling. Like everyone was falling over, even the tourists were falling over and stuff like that. So that made for an interesting challenge going up to the summit. But yeah, once I got to the summit, I pictured like this being like this profound moment. Like I just ran from the coast all the way to the top of Mount Kosciuszko, but we got to the summit, me and Blake took a photo, and I'm like, alright, let's go finish this fucking thing. Like, it wasn't what I expected it to be, but it was a bit anticlimactic. It was still cool to know that I just ran from the coast to the top. The finish, it was a bittersweet feeling, because like walking back down to the finish, you can see the finish line practically from like the last 5Ks. You can see it, and it's just like a constant thing. I think I got passed by like 2 other runners on that last like 5K stretch, and I was trying to run as much as I could, but I just couldn't take another step running. I don't even understand why, but I just couldn't run, and it was like so frustrating. Yeah, the last K, Blake ran off to the finish so he could see me finish, and then yeah, on the last little descent into the finish line, it was good to just be by myself and just like, yeah, I don't know, just take it all in, because I worked so hard to get to that last K, so. It's pretty cool how they have the banner, I think, because like usually the winner only gets one of those, but they think that it's a big enough achievement so everyone deserves to go on, which is pretty cool. But yeah, finishing was kind of similar to getting to the top of Kosci, to be honest. It was a bit anticlimactic. I was just happy to be finished, because it was just, yeah, I was disappointed but still proud that I finished it. And to see like mum and dad there, and like the race directors and stuff, and just everyone there, because it's an individual sport, but that's a team event. Like that race, there's no way you could do it without the crews and stuff like that, and to have you guys there at the finish line was just, yeah, that was the thing I enjoyed the most probably. The next day I was like properly wounded. Like I reckon I probably would have been the worst in that room. I think like I needed the poles to walk and everything. I was so shattered. There was a lot of first time finishes that year as well, so everyone was just really emotional, and yeah, the race directors, you can just see how passionate they are about the race, and like their speeches and stuff, and the way they talk about the race. It's just like, yeah, it was getting me emotional even. And then when the winner, Rob Mason, just got up and spoke about how hard he's worked to get the win over like the past 12 years and stuff like that. Like I was bawling my eyes out. And like mum and dad next to me, I was probably crying as well. I was trying not to look at it because then I'd start crying even more. So it's just like the most emotional thing. I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's like everyone has like a mutual understanding of what they've just gone through over the past like 48 hours. So yeah, I think everyone's just like, it's like a lot of camaraderie in that room.
Well, this guy came along and he was absolutely blasting the race apart. And then a little event happened with his knees. I had to get him taped up. I don't know what state he's going to kind of walk down or crawl down here to actually get his hat. Rick, Sorry. In 22nd place, in a time of 37 hours and 27 minutes and 27 seconds, Zac Oneil. Feel good.
I'll probably never wear this thing ever again. But yeah, it was fucking so good to put this on my head after that. Like when the race director gave it to me, like, it was just like, it's all I've been thinking about was just like getting this hat the past 3 years. It's the best trophy you could get, I reckon. I love it so much. But I'm 100% doing it again, like. My plan was to go under 30 hours for that race. It was probably a fucking stupid thing to do, like the first time you ever do that race, but I'll definitely be back more than once. Like, it's the sickest race, like, it's so good. And I'm gonna have FOMO every year that I'm not there, so yeah, I'll be back to do that race 100%, and if I don't nail it next time, I'll nail it the year after. Like, eventually, at one point in my life, I'm gonna do well at that race. I definitely have to thank you for sure. Like doing this video and
Jesus
stuff like that.
Christ, listen to him.
I don't know, we've been best mates for how many years have we been best mates since year one?
Too long.
Like 23 years. And it was just, I don't know, it was good to just see your face like driving past saying something dumb, like butter my bread or some shit, or fucking doing the bell out the window. So yeah, I want to thank you and Blake and Art, and like, it was so good to have you boys there. Like, that was, yeah, I wouldn't want anyone else to be there. Like, it was so perfect. And then to have mum and dad there as well, it was, yeah, my mum and dad, I probably don't tell them enough, but they're like fucking best mum and dad, like, anyone could ever ask for. Like, they're so supportive of every single thing that I do. And like, to give up work, and like for everyone to give up work and come down there and just so I can run this stupid race, like, you know, that means a lot to me. So yeah, I want to thank mum, dad and the crew. Like, just, it's 100% a team's event. It's an individual sport, but a team's event, like that race. And everyone in the race, that, like, all the other teams, crews and stuff, like, Ultrunners are just, that whole community is just like the best community. Like, constantly, every time like another like crew would drive past you, or even when you're overtaking or like getting overtook, like, everyone's just happy and just like giving heaps of words of encouragement and stuff like that. So yeah, heaps of thanks to all the crew and other teams and stuff like that. And also the race directors, they're just so passionate about that race, and they just love everyone that does it and everyone that's involved in it, and they're just so passionate. So I want to say a massive thanks to those guys and all the volunteers, and like, they're all volunteers, so it's just like so insane that they give up that much time to like put on an event like that. Like, it's such a logistical nightmare to put on a race like that. And I want to thank John Sandak from Steel Biz. That's the logo that I've had on my singlet and hat during the race. Like, it's not cheap to do these races. Like, cost money, like, cost lots of money to do this stuff. And yeah, so I'm super grateful for John's and Steel Biz's support, like, throughout this past year, just to get me to this race. And yeah, I'm very thankful for their input into like this race as well. So ready to go? Have you
Yeah,
filmed?
stop looking at them.
Are you
This.
filming?
Yes.
It's really hard not to be too close to us. I feel like you need to be over there or something. I'm gonna keep looking at the fucking camera.
Look at me.
I wouldn't be talking to you now. So
Just
I'll
talk-
just say.
Just
Joanne.
look at my head. Just say your name.
I'm Zac Oneil. I'm an ultra runner from the south coast.
Look at me while you're saying it.
I am.
Yeah, it looks fine.
Alright, I'm Zac Oneil. I'm an ultra runner from
No,
the south
louder.
coast. That's loud enough, isn't it?
Yeah, that's probably loud enough.
Yeah. I'm Zac Oneil. I'm an ultra runner from the south coast of New South Wales. This is gonna be fucking impossible to do this.
Fuck me. Alright, come on. That's going good though.
I know.